In Juba, Malatori, hey, yo, in Bing William, in Benti, Walla Quadu, hey, wow, in Bing William, in Malkal, Walla Pinaram, in Bing William.
Thank you so much, our viewers. Welcome to Lagos State Media Beyond Boundaries. And in the studio today, on the 5th of November, 2023, we have Honorable, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, who is also aspiring candidate for the presidency for the upcoming elections 2024 South Sudan. Honorable Peter Mayen Majongdit. You are highly welcome to Lagos State Media today. And on behalf of Lagos State Media, we are humble and honored to have you to share your thoughts, your manifesto, your experience as the minister, and your wisdom in regard to the affairs of the nation, politically and even socially. We really appreciate the honoring that you have given to us to accept our invitation and join us today on this day. Our viewers, once again, let me remind you, share this live show to reach many South Sudanese who have interest to listen to Honorable Peter Mayen, and also question him. If you have any questions during the comment section, you can also pose your question there, and Honorable will be in a position to respond to your question. Honorable, can you give us your opening remark before we dive into our conversation? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my pleasure, and it's great to be with you, the Lagos State Media, and I really appreciate and thanks everybody that has taken this enough time to be able just to listen to few remarks that, and I appreciate your times, and I'm really very much happy to be here together with you.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for those brief opening remarks. Honorable Peter Mayen Majongdit, can you tell the citizens and the viewers who is Peter Mayen Majongdit? Thank you.
Peter Mayen Majongdit was a South Sudanese citizen, born on the 5th of December, 1978, and I am currently a South Sudanese politician that I had started it from the grassroots by establishing and help being a party and partials of those who have founded the People's Liberal Party, which is the first political party to be founded in South Sudan. Prior or after the independence, we were also able to be in position to create the first ever coalition, which is today known as the Umbrella, which is a coalition of political parties. And I participated in peace agreement. I'm a signatory to the peace agreements. And we definitely, the relative peace that we do have right now is a result of working together with the others. I also serve South Sudanese as the National Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. And upon my endorsements, I have a new responsibility, definitely, which I have to prepare for by 2024 as the President of the Republic of South Sudan. And I definitely hope we will have the victory. And I'm also quickly trying to lay down the foundations, and that particular foundations will create real democratic transformations, and the new generation will be definitely in position to carry on. I'm married to Aloel Messi. I have kids. I come from Gogrial, Kwajok, and that's what I can say. There are a lot can be said about me, but it's good you have me here. I welcome any questions when it comes to my personality and who I am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Peter Mayen, for your introductions and for telling the public the brief of your biography. I know your biography is full of things to be told, but you have actually tried to reduce it and give a brief of it to meet the interests of the public and the viewers who are watching us currently. As we are moving to our conversation, Honorable Peter, the Lagos State media obtained the documents titled Gateway for 2024 Elections of Umbrellas of Political Parties for Peace and Democratic Transformation. Can you tell us exactly what is that document all about? Thank you.
Absolutely, Gateway. The Gateway is a new term that we developed at the umbrella of political parties because basically, I have studied a political science, and that means that there must be there a new terminology, new ideology. So anyone can call it a platform, which is commonly known. You can call it a manifesto, which is commonly known, but we call it a gateway because the gateway, the reason we named it Gateway, it is basically is trying to create that space, trying to create that way for South Sudan to have first ever democratic transformations in the country. Is also trying to create a lot of things, and in terms of prosperity, in terms of development, the Gateway basically has a lot of chapters, and it discusses a lot in terms of what we are going to do when it comes to our governance policy, economic policies, and all they are there enshrined in the gateways, that including our foreign policies, which actually the last chapter in the gateway. So I would ask the leg state media to demonstrate, to be able to people to in diaspora and everywhere, so that people can have that access. We are a party with a vision, and we are not just there for power, neither are we just there for being that state. You are in power. No, we have a vision, and we have the gateway actually entails a lot how best we can do. The most important things in the gateway is we really talked about our health policy. We do believe it's the best. Our education policy, we do believe it's the best. And also our economic policy, we also believe is the best, including the foreign policy. Governance, nothing new that much in it, apart from the fact that we are actually going to impose constitution term limits. But also, I would like to take this opportunity to tell the viewers and the citizens that Peter Mayen is only running for one term. So I'm not going to go for another term. So I'm going back home, and I have a lot of things to do. I'm still young, and as long as we lay down the foundation, and definitely things will have to move. And this is basically what the gateway is about. The gateway, I think, is our manifesto, and we are the only first political party, apparently, that have launched and has endorsed the gateway that South Sudanese definitely can read and they can understand. Our gateway quickly actually reforms the economic systems, whether it is in insurance, whether it is in banking, whether it is within the first 2 years in power. And that's immediate and quick reforms, which is basically very also democratic and definitely, and the Gateway created a wider opportunity of participation of all South Sudanese citizens in their national affairs, in their country affairs, and it also create enough political space. It creates a situations that not everyone will be a politician. So our health sector we is very important for us. So I don't think there will be much money that can be ever spent going abroad. We have everything here. We will do in the innovations. You know, as South Sudanese, you do understand that, of course, uh, we will actually do a lot of investment in terms of in health educations. And even though it is commonly said by every politician that runs for elections in every country, but ours is the reality. And I will be there. If something that needs me to be tough, I will be tough. Something will need me to be polite, I will be polite. And definitely that's what the Gateway is about. So we hopefully that the other competitive in the political market, those who also believe that they can take affairs of South Sudan into their shoulder, will definitely come up with their manifesto or platform. But we are here ready to take the responsibility of this country to our shoulder. It's not just about country. And this brings me to the reason why I'm running for election, because basically I have a generation and I'm part of that particular generation. And our generation has to have a narrative. We do agree with the red. Yes, they have brought the independence, but they have failed to create a future for the next generation. And I think as the Yola family, definitely we will create a future to the next generations. And I think USN and everyone and our children definitely will have somewhere to pick in, and that will depend. So basically, I'm running for elections to create a future for our generations, to bring the inspiration and desire of the people of South Sudan into reality. And that's my objective apparently. And I also thank
Thank,
for the Yambi Convention endorsement. Yeah.
thank you, Honorable,
That's just
for
answers on the Gateway.
yeah, thank you, thank you. As a leader of People's Liberation Liberal Party, rather, uh, you are running for presidency for the forthcoming general elections in South Sudan.
Hello?
Can you tell the viewers? Yes, are you not getting me, Honorable?
Now I'm getting you
Hello.
now.
Yes.
Yes, I'm now getting you.
All right. I'm asking, as the leader of People's Liberal Party, have you been endorsed to run for the presidency by your party members? And if yes, then are you in collusion with other political parties? According to the Gateway documents, it details umbrella of political parties. And who are those political parties that have come together with your party and nominate you as the flag bearer coming 2024 general election? Thank you.
Definitely, I have got my the endorsement happened was very clear. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm
Can you
getting
hear
you.
me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, okay. We actually our endorsement is different from the Red Family endorsements. The Red Family endorsement was more of a celebration, more of undemocratic process, which happens in WOW. And he has got the Red Family endorsed the flag bearer. Ours was purely a democratic process, and we did it in Yambio. And not only just have been endorsed, I was also made to take an oath to the fact that the party I will not let the party down. So I took an oath as a flag bearer and as a presidential candidate. That was a purely democratic process where all South Sudanese came all across to Yambio, and that today makes Yambio a very historic place. So they came in there and the endorsement happened. And when I was doubting about, can I really deliver that future? They say, look here, you must swear. So the process for for a very democratic process. So I'm the only one that has been sworn in as a flag bearer for South Sudan. And when you, that means you must live to the oath. You must really fulfill what the party wanted from you. And the deliberations of the gateway was there. The declarations on of Yambio conventions in a number of issues was there, and it was purely a democratic process that brought all the members. It was purely a very wonderful conventions, and the same things I've seen in Bor just some few days back. All the youth came all across South Sudan, and they had a very wonderful theme. The theme was basically creating a future for our generation. So 3 documents came out there: the Youth Declaration on democracy, and also the Youth Declarations. And I like the 2 documents. Basically, it creates a really a future to the South Sudanese. So we are waiting to have the Women Convention that will happen in December 4th to 5th. That will happen in Wow. And we have a number of activities. So my endorsement is the most legit endorsement that has ever happened in this country, purely within an internal party process. And I took oath, and I will not let the Yellow family down upon the oath I've taken to be their flag bearer and bring the gateway.
Thank you, Honorable, for confirming to the viewers the process of your endorsements as flag bearer for your political party. Honorable, can you tell the viewers why do you want to run for the presidency? Why? And what are those 3 things, 3 that you think you will be different from other political parties and that will convince the majority of South Sudanese to vote for you? Thank you.
Definitely. We're going to be very much different from the other political parties because basically we are, let me use the word indigenous political party. So we are actually a political party with visions. And we're going to be very much different. Not just being different, we are the one to lay down a foundation for South Sudan prosperity and its future. And I have learned. I have been in the government. I have been a minister. I have also seen everything. So we have learned from where people have gone wrong, where mistakes have gone wrong, and that's what we really need to correct. And that's why we have to break the difference. So we are not just there for power, never. Otherwise, how we would have never challenged the Red family, you know. So we are challenging everyone that is coming to compete with us based on ideas, and our difference has already started. I think we are the only non-violent political party and the non-violent movement that had made it possible, either to be in power through the agreement, along with those who had arms, or even also to make sure that say enough is enough. It's our generation, it's our future, and we have to carry on from there. And we have
thank you, Honorable.
and we have.
Can you tell the viewers now why do you want to run for presidency? Why? There must be that reason.
I want to run for presidency to bring the needed change and bring the inspiration and desire and the long vision that South Sudanese have suffered for decades, and all of us have suffered. So we must have that prosperity. And that's why I'm running, because to bring the inspiration and the desire of South Sudan and lift South Sudan to the next stage. And that's why I'm running for presidency for only 1 term, and we are imposing presidential term limit.
Thank you, Honorable, for actually explaining why you want to run for the presidency. You want to redeem the respect and the glory of mighty country South Sudan. Thank you for that. To our viewers, keep sharing the live show and comment under the comment sections, whatever question that you want to ask Honorable Peter Mayen, and then he will be in a position to answer you accordingly. Honorable, are you certain that there will be elections 2024, and why?
Whether I'm certain whether there will be?
There will be elections next year.
Yes, because it's a very good question. There's no options. And this is what I've told some few people some years back in Addis and everything. I said, I'm going to push you to the corner of democracy, because the perceptions of the regions and the international community was basically they would listen to those who have arms, and they would not want to listen to the political parties that are not violent. But I told them, I'm going to push you to a corner of democracy. And it took us patience. And why the election should happen? If there will be no elections, what next? Because basically I'm a signatory to the peace agreement, and I'm also signatory to the roadmap. And I'm not going to sign any extension that will extend the suffering of South Sudanese. Never. Forget it. And that's why I also have to take this opportunity to say, running for election is not about me. Otherwise I would have grown fatter. Otherwise I would have walked and says back, I want to go back and I want to do this. No. So simple. There will be no any other further extension. And we cannot accept that our country is at a stage where there's no legitimate government that's in place, or a state of anarchy, a state of no, it's just what Somalia went to before, and it took them long, and even Somalia is more democratic today. But that thing's not going to happen. Why election should happen? One, if you could remember, it took us 2 years. I was in Addis for 2 years, just negotiating the agreement. I was also in Khartoum for 2 years, negotiating the agreement. These are 4 years. That's already a term for any government to be in place. And when we went to Juba, it took us 8 months. I was also a member of National Pre-Transition Period on that day. It took us 8 months. I opposed the extension. But those who were corrupt, those who wanted to milk everything in the names of violence, extended it for 6 months. I said I will remain to be patient, because there will be an end to that particular patient. So if you take 8 months plus 6 months, it brings us to a good number, plus another 3 months until we were left with no choice. We must form the government. So we had to form the government, and the government ran for 3 years. Okay, and everything that people have been thinking about, security arrangement, and important provisions not implemented. If we cannot implement them in 8 months, 6 months, 3 years, with extension again for 2 years, then we are killing these generations. And I think nobody wants to die before running for elections. And those who are opposing elections today, these are people perhaps have never run for the elections, even though they are in their 50s. So what they do know is about war, what they do know is about military movement. And I don't want any single South Sudan to die because of a political issues or political interest. No, if it's sickness, it's natural death, fine. So I am still carrying on, and I urge everybody and the viewers that we must really go forward to go towards the non-violent movement, focus on the development of our country, focus on what we can do, and enough is enough. So that's why we need that particular elections. For those who believe that elections could be rigged and everything, that's not the questions. But there must be there a democratic process, because now we have cornered them to the corner of democracy, and the elections must happen. And that's why I'm pretty happy to stay away outside the government executive for now, even though I'm national member of parliament. But we must push for elections. Enough is enough. They should be there in any other options. So people have said there are a lot of concern, but if I do not really in position to love South Sudanese, I would have not contested against people whom we come from the same area. No, but it's not about me. Neither it's about my family. It's about the future of this country and the generation. I will be pretty happy to answer queries, answers, but it must happen. Elections must be there, because the power belongs to the people, and it's expressed through a democratic process. And that's what the Yambio Convention declared.
Thank you, Honorable, for explaining and giving people hope that elections will take place. Now, if uh, other political parties, especially the IO and other members of National Assembly and even the state, are not for elections, they said we have to implement the agreement fully before we go for an election. And they cited some of the reasons that there are some things that should be laid down before we go for an election. What can you say about that? They said we should have census, we should have security countrywide, people should be safe, and then the IDPs should return to their homes before we go for elections. Kindly, can you tell us what can you tell those parties? Thank you.
Actually, those parties do not believe in democracy in the first place. And if they do, why would you say there should be no elections? As we said, the country for decades has never gone for elections. I will just pick one among the leaders, which is in the presidency. There is no track record for him to run for election. And for me, before I reach my 50s, I want to run for elections. Whether win or lose, we want to run for election. So basically, those political parties, what they are there, want to keep the business of war. If there's no elections, you want war, enough is enough. We are not even willing to kill even a single rat, leave alone a human being. So we must have a democratic process. We must have elections, and the questions of security arrangements and other factors. What is just ways to delay elections? So anything that we have never implemented it. Okay, right now we should have two presidents that have ruled this country, beginning from the days we start the negotiations until today.
Uh, are you there, Honorable? Hello?
Okay, I can now hear you well. So
Yes, you are
those
clear now.
hello, yeah. So yes, so those political parties, they are not even political parties. They are actually our movement. So the business of recruiting youth to fight against another tribes, the business of recruiting youth to fight for your political interests, that has to come to an end. And we are the only one that can end it. The business trying to support people basically on tribalism, basically on where the area they come from, it has to come to an end. And we have to create a new society, a society that definitely is more productive, a society that can be respected. So those one now, I think they have no any other options apart from elections. And I think, and I do believe in South Sudanese, whether in South Sudan, abroad, wherever they are, they will definitely fight for that particular democratic and civil right that they do that they have. And we'll put them to shame. And if you come and incite me or you do anything, these things we have to, the yellow family is not willing to allow the red family any more black sheet. You know, it has to come to an end. So I do understand there's intentions, there is motivations to create an handicap situations that probably drill the country back to war. But no, we're not going to allow that. We are not. We are not willing. As long as I'm alive, I'm not. I will try the best I can, and I have the confidence of South Sudanese that definitely they will definitely support me in this move of non-violence and assuring that there's a peaceful and democratic transformation in South Sudan that will definitely lead South Sudan to its prosperity and to its place where it deserves. Because actually, God has gave us all the enough resources that we all need, and I think it's time that at least we have to wake up. And I do believe the current generations of South Sudanese definitely will make a change that is needed.
Thank you, Honorable, for answering the questions and also appealing to South Sudanese that actually, as long as I'm alive, I will always be at the front line fighting for your interests. The last questions in regard to your candidacy is that now you want to run for presidency. Will you make coalition with other political parties or you run with your own political party? I remember the Red family, let me borrow your term, the Red family, which is SPLM, and the Blue family, which is SPLMIO, become
red.
like they have big numbers.
Yeah.
Will you be having coalition with other political parties? And if yes, are you ready to join the Red family to run alongside them? Because if they invite you on their desk to make you as one of the members of political party that can actually do coalition with them. Thank you.
Very good question. I was in a coalition government that was made of the red and the blue family, and I was the only yellow family. So what I have seen, if I go on with collusion with anyone, either is red or blue, I will not bring the inspiration of South Sudanese into reality. So I will have cheated the South Sudanese and I would have cheated myself. Because it's not a question of personality, and it's not even a question of the name of the parties or the colors. It's a question of the principles that the party believes in. So the Yellow family believe, first of all, in non-violence. The Yellow family also believe in democracy to its perfection. The Yellow family believes on development, prosperity. So it's going to be very much difficult to groom all these principles together with either the red or the blue. One of the things we can differ in is the use of arms, against your own citizens, whether based on the name of marginalization, whether based on the names of inadequate services to different areas, whether it's based, whatever reasons you do have, but you also have to understand the most precious thing that important is the life of a human being. So we have different principles, and I don't think that there will be any collusion. South Sudanese will have to decide. Either they wanted the red to continue, they will decide. And if they wanted the blue to continue, they will decide. But the best option is the yellow.
Thank you, Honorable, for answering the questions. Let's move to your previous docket as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. Can you tell the viewers, Honorable, what had you achieved in that position before you were at leave? Thank you.
Very good. I have received these questions a lot, and people says I have not achieved anything, they have not done anything. But I like this platform, and I have reserved these questions towards the campaign. But I can still clearly state out that I have stick to my mandate. My mandate was to save life and build resilience community, and this is basically what I did. There was not a single South Sudanese that have died in my hand as a result of anger. And wherever there were calamity, disasters, either both man-made or natural disasters, I have stepped to this country everywhere, in every corner, in every state, just to be there, not only for the purpose of solidarity, but for the purpose of understanding what is in the ground. And I was also criticized. People said I should sit in the office and then send people and do that. No, because I know the level of corruption that was going on in the government. And I surely do say that's why I work out in that ministry very clean. So I stick to my mandate. And the only challenges that I have experienced was the fact that there was not enough money and resources that was allocated to the ministry in order to be able to deal with the disasters and able to address the humanitarian challenges that were there. So, but I still tried. I also went abroad seeking help everywhere, and whatever support I have got, I brought it in. So I have stick to my mandate, and I think I performed. And that's why there was too much jealousy. When I was given the token of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, because of its protocol. It is second to the last ministry. People thought that they have thrown me to the dustbin, but they didn't. I created that ministry to look colorful and actually does a lot of work. And every minister, even those beginning from government affairs, trades, they have admired that ministry. And that's why when I was relieved, I'm relieved without charges. And until today, I don't understand why and why I was relieved. But it was also an opportunity to go back and think the real things. And I said, no, these corruptions should not continue. And this government should not be allowed. And I said, now, let me take over the future of this country, to show them how the country is led, to show them how things are managed. So let South Sudanese have that confidence. And I have done my work for sure. I don't want to talk about myself, but I think people would have rated me. There's no week it could have passed without me being in a field, without me addressing the humanitarian challenges. And the proof to the job I have done is the fact that during my tertiary office, no single South Sudan have died. It was a difficult time when I was definitely managing the flood, and without my effort and relationship, the government, which is the Council of Ministers, were doing nothing. Upon approving the 10 million US dollar, 20 million US dollar to address the humanitarian challenges, the money was taken by the office of the president. And I was sad while enjoying a job. I was hosting the national football team when they made it to the African Cup of Nations in order to show solidarity to them. So there are hunters there in that particular government, and all the things and all they want is particularly is money. There's nothing more than that, you know. And I told them, look, even if you die, you will never be buried with that particular money. You will definitely leave money somewhere, and you will go to the grave because we're all heading there. So the best thing we could do, we have to be fair. We must be realistic with our citizens, and we must. So I was vocal at the Council of Ministers and a number of issues. So that's really, I saw that's what I've done, and I don't think that I've failed. I have did my work, but I was hunted down by the corrupt officials with their voice, and that's why the Yolo family want to take the responsibility to end impunity, corruptions, once for all. After all, to whom does South Sudan belong to? It belongs to all of us. We are all South Sudanese. And it's very much important we have to understand. Let us not put our own interests above South Sudan, because everyone, one day you will be a parent and you have kids, and you want your kids not to suffer the way we have suffered. Most of us and most of those who are in diaspora, it's the same situations. If you go back home to the rural areas, it's the same situation. Nothing have changed, you know. So we must make changes because of our future and because of the future of our kids and children. So it's very important. I have a son, Mayen Jr., and I want him to have a better life in future. I don't want him to continue to suffer as I've suffered. I don't want any more. Resources at all. So what next should we need to do? We have the resources, we have the brains, we have the ability, we have the education, and we can definitely make South Sudan into new future.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you for your answering the questions. Actually, you mentioned many things that you were thrown out by corrupt leaders. Do you believe there were some conspiracy against you by those individuals to uproot you out from the ministry so that they can have their hand in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management? That's what you are telling the viewers? Thank you.
Yes. And then the proof is this. First and foremost, I'm a signatory to the peace agreement, and they do not have any right, any mandate to remove me without recommendation from my party. If I am to be removed, even though I'm the leader and even though I'm signatory, It would have been the umbrella of political parties sitting down and says, you are not performing and we are removing you. Okay? And there I can accept either resign too, because it's a fact that, So there is no way, if it was not concurrency, if it was not corruption, how does a leader of another party relieve another leader? And who roots that letter? And it's a government of agreement, it's a government of collusion. Okay? So it is only that particular party, through their leaders, they can remove. And if this thing, my party were very surprised, and it's purely looting and corruptions. So you remove a leader of another party and you appoint someone who is not from the umbrella, which is not from that particular party, okay, for the interest of smuggling and taking the 20 million US dollar. Who told them I'm interested in 20 million US dollar? I'm the one who brought the money. And that's why I just went back to my cattle camp and I was pretty happy to stay there. And this is purely corruption. And until today, they do not want to accept that the fact that that is that particular corruption. So I know individuals within the current government, and as long as they exist in South Sudan government, I think the future of South Sudan will still remain dark, because sometimes I may say they're heartless, basically. Because what is it, even if you gain the whole world and your people continue to suffer, and you have a nation that you have said you are a national minister and you are carrying their responsibility into their shoulders? So to me, it's really very disheartening. And these are the things that motivate me, and that's the things that encourage me to show them how a country is led and how you take care of a biggest family, which is South Sudan. Taking care of a nation is just also like your family. It's like a parent who basically goes out there, eats and sleeps. He doesn't want to know what his child and what his wife is eating, and doesn't want to know about. So this is based, I think, it's so uncaring. And this is what happens in the government. So nobody care about the life of the common citizen, those who are suffering. And I hope those who are suffering will show their power through vote.
Thank you, Honorable, for that. Actually, you mentioned that there are people that in that government who can, even if you said, even if you gain the whole world and your people are suffering, and then you are still useless. Are you saying, Honorable, the greed has taken root in our political arena? That people are not satisfied, no matter how much money they looted or how much money they take, they will never be satisfied. That's what you are saying?
If I get you correctly, what I'm saying is very clear. It doesn't. What they are, they're only for their own. To be honest, very clear. And I approve. I have everything. And during elections campaigns, when things becomes officially, we will names basically, and we will speak. Wabi jam jam ting pal. And we will speak the truth. And I'm willing to. I'm still waiting for that fact. So basically, what happened is basically they were jealous against me because of my performance. They were after money, and they smuggled the money, and the money ended nowhere. Okay, and there were no services that I've seen have been delivered after I left the ministry. And the reason I never wanted to cry or never wanted to talk about that, because basically I'm not after power. What brought me to be a minister, because the agreements require that I must be a minister, and the extension is coming to an end. And if the people of South Sudanese decide that I must be their future leader, their president, yes, I will do that job for 4 years, and I will ask them to give me my retirement packages, and so that I go back home, so that I don't grow too much old. Hello, back to you. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello. Just I got one more question here. In the studio, someone wrote a question that you need to read and answer it.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is here, but you answered it partially before. But the second question of it is the most important one about the campaign that you are doing. Are you doing campaign in only one place? Because this guy says here, my question is, what is the role and responsibilities that you are expected to do when you become a president of South Sudan? Another question, which is the most important, I think, is how can you do your campaign while you are in Kwajuk? Are you campaigning, going out to other counties and other states? That's the question. Thank you.
Okay, let me answer the last question so that I come to the second one. And if there's any questions I forget, try to remind me. I'm not in Juba, by the way. It is the Red family that's in Juba. So if you look at our convention, where the endorsement happened, so it was done in Yambio. And it was an opportunity, actually, which I also went by road, and I was willing. While I met so many friends, and I met so many chiefs. So, and we have never did any campaign in Juba. The other one who went to Bor, and now the future plans for the female also, we are also going to WOW. The only planned activities that are here are only two. Basically, the economic conference that we also take place hopefully next month, on October or February, something like that. Yeah, it will happen in Torit. Economic conference is in Torit, and so we are not in Juba. It is actually the Red family that are in Juba. The Yellow family, we are outside because basically we are environmental friendly. We care about the environment, and we also understand that there are lots. So we are moving out, and hopefully that also there is a planned activities that will be approved by the leadership to go to diaspora. But we have a limited time because basically to plan for elections within 1 year is not something that's really very much easier. So when it comes to my roles and my functions as a president of the country, are very clear, and they're actually there in the constitutions. I am going to be a unique president for the first time ever, and a president that will never tolerate corruption, a president that will also not give the right of South Sudanese away, either for diplomatic interests or for anything. I'm also going to be the president that definitely going to be monitor every activities, every function that actually leads to South Sudan development. I have a lot of things to say. I'm also going to be a president that actually going to create enough opportunity to all of South Sudanese for their prosperity, either be it in sports, whether be it in any industry, any sector. And I'm going to prove to the world that this is not the South Sudan you people used to think. It was just a country that everybody fights, it's a country that's insecurity and all that. No, I think my biggest fight will be against those who are not willing to push for the interests of South Sudan and those who do not want South Sudan prosperity. But Peter Man, do I care? I don't care as Peter Man. So basically, what is going to be very much important is about my people, it's about my citizen, it's about my country. So I really don't think that I'm going to make a unique change. And if, hopefully, if that opportunity is availed, and if I don't perform well, of course, we are imposing the presidential term limit for 2 years. But next year, then South Sudanese will say, Peter, man, step aside. You know, I'm not going to take arms. I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm not going to go against anybody. And if there's anything that I have also taken, I will definitely, I have to be told. So basically, hopefully that I will, in the next 4 years or 5 years, I will also walk away free, as just as walked away free from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. If I do good, that's very good. Then we would have laid down the foundations in a number of issues. And I'm going to work day and night, of course, to ensure that I must fulfill the inspiration and desire of South Sudanese, and I will have to bring it into reality.
All right. One more question. Two more questions from the comment section, and then I will take you to Clubhouse. There are other people also in the Clubhouse. I got two people who have some question for you. I will put that one in the screen to read by yourself as well. I said you mentioned that they currently government is corruption, and question is, when you are a minister or when you were a minister, let's put it that way, rather, did you corrupt? If yes, where do you get a lot of cattle you are keeping now? There's another question is here from Mayom Akon. Mayom says, what are the strategies that you are going to lay out in order to improve South Sudan economic if we vote you in? That's about the economic that Mayor Macron asked you. Answer these two questions, and then we will take you to Clubhouse. Thank you. Can you hear me, Honorable Peter? Major, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I think Honorable has some network issue. He's frozen.
I guess, yeah. I think you can drop him and let him come back again.
Yep, I drop him, yes. We just wait for him to come back and to answer this question, and then we will move straight to Clubhouse. I have two people before, but now it remain one. We have Tontat. Tontat, just hang on here. If he comes back, you will be having a chance to ask your question. So, Major, take over.
Thank you, President. I think you can give chance to whoever on Clubhouse to make his comments while we are waiting for him. Thank you.
All right, sound easy. Tontat, activate. Yes, here he comes. Let's see. Yeah, wait.
Disconnections a little bit. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sorry, there was a little technical issue, but I'm back. So let's back to your two questions. Just repeat them very fast so that this I could quickly have more questions or more answers. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Honorable.
Hello. Can you hear me
displaying
now?
them.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I can hear you. So just let's
All right.
repeat it
Briefly,
so that I answer the question, and we receive more questions so that we can have more answers.
All right. Senior Nomut asked you about corruption. He said, when you were in the office, were you aware of the corruption, or is when you are relieved, that's the time that you begin to realize? That's what I can paraphrase of his question here. That's what
It's a very good question.
And the last one also from Mayen Majongdit is asking you about your wealth. He says, what are your strategies? Oh, yeah, no, it's not about your wealth. It's about the economic of the country. What are the strategies that you are going to lay out in order to improve the South Sudan economic if we vote you in to be a president of the Republic of South Sudan? Thank you. And then I will take you to Clubhouse after these questions.
It's very good questions. The first question is straightforward. I was aware of the corruption, but I did not have the powers and the mandate to stop corruption. And I tried to do the reform internally, and I ended up as being victim. So I'm not talking about corruptions after I've been relieved, you know. So I was aware it's a collusion government. I have no powers to stop some of the corruption that were happening. And when I was vocal trying to do reforms within the Council of Ministers, trying to let every minister understand their functions and their role, and also trying to bring them to the line of what the agreement says and what the objectives. So I ended up being a victim. So that's a very straightforward question. And I like the second question, basically, we talk about how are we going to make South Sudan different in terms of economic growth, in terms of its prosperity. So it's a good question. First and foremost, we are taking a different narratives in this. As you all know, South Sudan currently depends on oil. And I think apart from the oil money, there's nothing, and that's why that's why the country is in economic crisis because of the situation that's happening in Sudan, and since the move of the capitals. Anyway, so because you're depending on only one source of income, you know, but we are going to justify this economic. So, and actually, to be honest with South Sudanese, I'm not really going to focus on oil money. Neither am I good. Yes, we will build the oil industry. We will maintain the oil industry as part of our mandate and function, but not going to be our top priority. Because basically, what I do know, the oil money keeps people lazy, real lazy. So I'm not really going to focus on that. So we are actually going to focus, and we're starting before even election. We are starting right now. By the next year, cultivations, we are starting a lot of farms, a lot of agriculture. So this is we are going to demonstrate what we can do in actions. What we can now, we're going to do. So we're going to focus on agriculture, mining, industry, okay, and other thing. So we are not just. We will even be looking at oil as if it's not an income, and whatever comes in, I know a lot of money comes in from the oil. Whatever comes in from the oil, we will transform that. We will use that money, okay, to build our system, such as defense, agriculture. So we're not going to. We're going to change absolute narratives. As you know, I don't want to dwell on that. The person who have answered questions, but I want to tell you, South Sudan, we can feed the East Africa, the entire East Africa, if we invest in agriculture. South Sudan, we have a lot of minerals. I don't want to name them. So mining sector is much as big as the oil sector. If we really improve our industry, we will be able to create even a very good market.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I have a lot of that.
Yes, you have a last question here from Galio Riang.
Yeah, we need to know that we are not going to depend on oil. No, it's a lazy money that comes in and goes, create an issue, forget. We're going to be hardworking people that create things for ourselves, innovations, technology, agriculture, mining. You can name a number of things. But I'm really not. The oil industry will be built. I mean, we'll improve the oil, but we are going to have radical reforms within the oil industry itself. And whatever money that comes, it should be either reserved to the country or invested in a different project.
All right, thank you. Galio Riang has a question to you here. What are your plans for the diasporans untapped human capital? These are including we, the Lake State media, who are in diaspora. About diasporans.
Yeah, come again.
Oh God. Juba network always is very disappointing. All right.
It's actually disturbing and it's very unfortunate. Apologies to our viewers. I think you can give chance to one person in Clubhouse to give his remark and his questions while we are waiting for his return. Thank you.
Yeah. That's right. Yes. Tontat, you can just open your mic. He's back, and go ahead. Tontat, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Mayen Majongdit. Yes. Yeah. My question is directed to
So
former Minister Majongdit. I wrote it down there about violence. He violently went to a wheel and shot the gun in the air, creating a speculation. How would he manage that if he become a president of the country? If he can just go and violently shot the gun in the air without being patient for what was taking place, how can he be a president? If he become a president, would he avoid doing such a thing? As he will have more power. Yeah. So that's my question, number one. Number two, I heard that he's released from the ministry position came from Geneva. That there was a UN worker that visited South Sudan, and he has talked with that UN staff worker from Geneva, dispatched from Geneva. Thank you. And that complained that if it is not removed from ministerial position, South Sudan have to be sued, and that's why he was relieved. He didn't elaborate that, but he talked. I heard the way he answered it, that he was relieved without any reason. But to me, I want to hear from him. What did he talk to the UN workers that was dispatched to South Sudan, and whether that resulted into his being relieved from the position, because the UN said otherwise South Sudan has to pay $1 million if he is not relieved from the position of humanitarian.
Okay.
But now he's telling different stuff. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tontat. I think Honorable Peter Mayen, you have heard him. His questions, you pick up from there because the network is a bit deteriorating. We have to speed up here. Thank you.
yeah, I think I didn't get the first question much, but the second question is good to have this opportunity to clarify. The issue of the UN, it was simple and clear. I said the United Nations mandate as per the Security Council was very clear in terms of their response to humanitarian issues. It's clearly stated. And in terms of the response to peacekeeping, it's clearly stated. And I had one issue. I said 80% of South Sudanese employed by the NGOs, or 80% of the employees, either from the NGO or the United Nations, must be South Sudanese. So I was trying to be brave on that through the Minister of Labor. And I told him, keep your money, I don't care. So they gang against me. And that was simple. That was the only issue I had with the United Nations. And not only United Nations, many other agencies. Because basically, look, we have a doctor, okay? Let me just give a simple example. Your colleague that is in media, which is Sabit William, he has almost 14 years in Maraya, okay? His director is a new graduate because he's a Kenya, okay, with less than 5 years experience. And you are being degraded for the fact that you're a South Sudanese. It's not because you don't have that.
Honorable Peter, can I just put you on the right track?
Isaac, you close your mic.
Okay. No, okay. What I want to say, sorry for mentioning that, but what I wanted to say is that South Sudanese are degraded for the fact that they are South Sudanese despite the ability and the capacity and the experience that they have to do whatever function that they do. So basically, mine was a typical reform within the humanitarian sector, within the humanitarian agents that meet our laws, what the labor laws said. But people are afraid come out on that. So that was basically the issue I had with the United Nations, and we fought. And I told them I'm not changing my mind. They say if you don't change your mind, we will go to the president. We'll kick you out. I say I don't care being kicked out. So that was it, very clear. The second question, what was it?
I think
the second question was the violence that you committed when you went to Northern Baragazal soccer field and you shot the gun in the air in the crowd, creating the speculation within that soccer stadium. And while you are a leader of the country, but you violently went and did that, how can you be a president if you behave in such a way? In addition to the UN question that you answer, I think you answer it in a different way that you did not understand what I was asking. They say the UN lady that was dispatched from Geneva went and met with you in South Sudan, and you want to date her, and the UN complained that that was the question. Thank you.
Totally, we need to stay away from those personal
things. Thank you so much,
Abraham,
for that intervention. Honorable,
yeah, can you
let me rephrase. Let me repeat the question, Honorable.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Tontat, there are some things that are regarding to our social life, we should not focus much on. His question, Honorable, the first question which he asked at earlier was that you went to a will during the football game, and then you shot off the firearm which you were carrying, that was pistol, and he was asking if you behave in a such manner when you were a mere minister, what if you become a president? Will you continue carrying the same characters, or you will have different characters that will govern you? Basically, he's asking about your emotions. Thank you.
No, I understand. I understand his question. I think the issue of a will, it is clearly classified long time ago, and we had a lot of explanation. So quick to say, okay, I did not fire a gun in a will, and I don't have a gun, and I don't hold a gun. Okay, even though I have military experience like any South Sudanese that has passed the difficult life we have passed through. This is simple and clear. In regards to what took me to the stadium, I went to the stadium because my lovely wife, which is today the current deputy governor,
apologies to our viewers and the clubhouse members. The minister internet is really deteriorating and always cut him off. So maybe we'll give him last chance. You can drop him, President Isaac. Let him comes back. Thereafter, he will finish answering the questions which was asked by Tonta. There we will end the show. And if there is anything that needs to be discussed,
yes, I'm back.
Then we can carry on Clubhouse.
So, yes. So what took?
Thank you, Honorable. Go on.
Yes. One, I did not carry a gun. I did not carry a gun. Okay. Secondly, my wife, the child was only 3 months. 2 months. Okay. And we cannot allow her to play football at that particular age. So that cannot be kept as an obstacle towards my election. I love her, okay? And that's when she was endorsed by the party. I did not say you shouldn't go, even though I was opposed to that idea, but we give her a right. This one is very clear. And I think this is too personal. And I also want to make it very clear too. I'm very frank, okay? I'm not going to be friendly to any corrupt officer or anybody that drilling South Sudan back. And I'm not going to be violent because I've never been violent. And that's why I'm the leader of the non-violence movement in South Sudan, the Yellow Family. So, but I'm not going to abuse state powers for what? Why should I? Because the power belongs to the people. So this is a simple answer, but everyone has to pay for his own crime. if there's any crime that has been committed by anybody. That's basically the principles. If you commit crimes against the law, I have no way to protect you, but your lawyer will protect you. And we will have a proper and independent judicial system that is going to be in place. So I've never abused my power. And all South Sudanese do know how much I love about my family and how much I love my wife. Yeah, every South Sudanese know. And everyone knows who my wife is, whether in or in diaspora. Another question.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you for that. Basically, there are some things that we was not supposed to ask. The issues of you and your family, those are your sexual and personal life, of which those were not the main reason to why we invited you to come and talk. The reason is for you to sell your agenda, your manifesto, and why do you think you'll be different from the rest of the leaders that we have witnessed as South Sudanese from 2005 during transitional periods all the way to 2011 where we gained independence, and then again to 2013 during crisis up to 2023. And how sure you will be, or how sure are you that we are going for election? Those were the things that actually we invited you to come and interact.
Okay, moderator, can you just clarify the question? I've got some
to come and interact with South Sudanese in diaspora. I think we are done with our questions, and if there is anything that you need to add on, or your last message to the people of South Sudan, either back home or in diaspora, I will give you a chance to express and inform them on what is your last message to them before we end the show. Remember, Honorable, we will engage more with you because there are many things that we really need you to talk about in regard to the political affairs of our country, and how are you going to run for these elections while some of the things are unsettled within the revitalized peace agreement. Thank you so much for your time. Give us your last remark. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Even the last question, the final things we have had is basically what makes you different. Definitely, a lot of things makes me different from all the leaders you have seen in South Sudan before. And the difference basically is actually I have decided to take the responsibility of the country on my shoulder. In regards to the community diaspora, I ask for your support, I ask for your vote, and we are going to actually advocate that South Sudanese in diaspora, they can have the right to vote, either through the embassies or coming back home. I encourage them during elections in 2024 December, come back home, register your vote. I also want your experience and whatever you have added in diaspora, either in terms of knowledge, whatever fields that you have, come and let's together join hands so that together we can create a better future for South Sudan. And thank you all.
Thank you so much, Honorable Peter Mayen Majongdit, for your time. And on behalf of Lagos State Media, we are really grateful for honoring our invitations and for coming to share your thoughts and experience with South Sudanese and what are your plans to South Sudan if you become president of that young nation on earth. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, and we don't take it for granted. Next time, we'll be in touch with you, and we will have more conversation of such kind in order to enlighten our public and also encourage them that no matter what, let's not lose hope. Hope is the only thing that we should live on, and hope is the only thing that liberates the country of South Sudan. And we are now independent citizens and the first citizens of our country. Thank you so much for your time. May God be with you, and may God bless South Sudan. Thank you.
Toyina Pierre wala rumbe, Kayin Ping William. Toyina Will wala Pibor, Kayin Ping William. Toyin Juba wala Tori, Kayam Bio, Kayin Ping William. Toyin Benti wala Kwaju, Kaya Wow, Kayin Ping William. Toyin Malkal wala Pinyaram, Kayin Ping William.